From Convention Center in Atlantic City, the Comcast Network proud to present the First Union NJSI AA Group 1 Finals. Today, the Pitman Panthers take on the Science Chargers. Hello again, everybody. I'm Mick Moninghop, and welcome back to Atlantic City. That's right, welcome back. For the first time in 27 years, the finals have returned here to the Boardwalk. Joining me today, Ted Fiore. And Ted, as we look at today's matchup between Science and Pitman, we should see a track meet today.
Oh, this should be a fun game to do and watch, Mick. I'll tell you, both teams are high-scoring, freewheeling power offense teams. Should be a fun game.
Let's talk about Science first off. Here's a team that is making its third consecutive trip to the Group 1 championship, so they're battle-tested.
Well, for sure they are. This is like a fixture for Science. They've been here 3 years. They've split the first 2 appearances, and, this is a surprising year for them, but they're here again.
Milton Gaylord is their head coach. He says they'll go 10 deep. He wants the pressure today.
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do very, very well, and it'll be interesting to see if their pressure can offset the high percentage offense that's being thrown at them by Pitman. When
you talk about Pitman, you talk about a team that loves to score, but it's their first trip to a final. They may have some jitters.
Well, for sure they might. They average 82 points a game, and, they need to make shots, and it's a tough venue here because it's new, it's wide open, and it's going to be interesting.
Craig Harper is their head coach, and he has turned this program around. Before he got here, they were just 1-47, so he's done a great job.
Well, he sure has, and he's had this young guy by the name of Crispin. They've been 77-29 over the last 4 years.
Let's talk about some of the marquee players in today's ball game. Omar Howard for Science averages almost 20 points a contest. He's the go-to guy.
Well, he's the bus driver. He's the guy that makes it happen for him, and the way he goes is the way they will go, and he's the lone returning starter on this team, Mick.
And Joe Crispin on the other side averages 32 points a ball game. He can fill it up.
Well, he can fill it up, and he can score, but the other thing he can do is pass. And many times it's a pleasure for Pitman when teams double team him because he is such an excellent passer as well as scorer.
Should be a great matchup today between Science from Newark and Pitman from Pitman, New Jersey. And we'll come back with starting lineups and game action in just a moment here in Atlantic City on the Comcast Network.
Today's championship playoff games are brought to you by First Union Bank. When it comes to service, everything matters.
Welcome back to Atlantic City as we are getting set for championship action, the Group 1 final. Pitman taking on the Science Chargers out of Newark. We're about ready for the starting lineups. Let's turn it over to Bob Derbyshire for
number 3, Pitman. Joe Crispin. Number 5, Jan Crispin. Number 13, Ron Myers. Number 35, Matt Kinsel. And number 24, Patrick McDermott. Head coach, Craig Harper.
Good look at Craig Harper. 25-3 is Pitman as they come into today's championship.
Samad Taylor. Number 32, Akil McGill. Number 34, Brian Field. Number 10, Omar Howard. And number 33, Virgil Williams. Head coach for Science High School,
Milton Gaylord, the head coach in his 11th season. And again, third straight trip to the finals, Ted, for Science out of Newark. They're the North 2 champs.
Well, that's not bad. I mean, anytime you can take your team to a championship game, it's big time. But 3 in a row, outstanding job.
Melba Hill and Vessels will be the officials for today's ball game, and we are set for championship action. Take a look at the starting lineups, and backcourt play dominates today.
Well, I think that's going to obviously be the key to the game. It's going to be how well Science can contain Crispin. And we know about his scoring, but the thing that we alluded to before that's very, very important is he's had 14 assists in each of his last 2 games.
Good look at Science as they're ready to break huddle. 24-2 their record. They beat Midland Park 56-40 to get to this round. Pitman, the South champ, was a winner over Highland Park 97-77, so they can fill it up. Again, Pitman's in black today.
Pitman's averaging over 82 points a game coming in. That's pretty darn good in a high school season. Here we go.
Akil McGill ready to jump center against Ron Myers from Pitman in black. And we are underway in the Group 1 championship game. Samad Taylor will bring it up. And it looks like a little 1-3-1 defense going on by Pitman early.
Pitman playing in the 1-3-1 zone.
Taylor with the dribble, gives up, jumper on the way, no good by Field, and the rebound is controlled by Jan Crispin. And here comes his brother Joe on a blocking foul to start today's ball game. And they call it on Samad Taylor, the junior.
Well, it's interesting right there in that first possession. Joe had the ball and they were running two guys at him. Let's see if that's going to be what they intend on doing all night.
Well, we'll see how Joe Crispin, the senior guard, sets it up in the backcourt. Several Division I colleges are after him. Comes off the screen. Gives up for his brother, and Jan lets it fly for three. That's no good. Nice offside rebound by Myers. The putback won't go. He'll get another opportunity, and he scores.
Well, this is a big problem, too, for Science. Size-wise, they're a fairly diminutive team, so they have to be leaping and jumping and be very quick to the ball.
Little trap defense put on by Pitman, but Science controls. Pass inside goes awry. It was knocked out of bounds, and Science out of Newark still has possession.
Well, interesting, that time Pitman extended their 1-3-1, and they trapped the ball as it came over, creating a little problem for Science. Caught him by surprise.
Brian Field to inbound under his own basket. Will have to dump it back in the backcourt. Howard gives up, and inside for the slam. Nice job of setting things up for Virgil Williams.
Terrific inside feed.
Long lead pass goes awry, finally picked up by Myers. Baseline drive, kicks it back on the wing. Skip pass, and into the lane goes Jan Crispin, and he gets the roll. So the younger Crispin scores, and it's 4-2.
John Crispin, nice looking penetration through that zone.
6:30 on the clock, first quarter action. 4-2 for Pitman. Science with the basketball. And Taylor gives up on the baseline. Howard's first shot of the game goes off the heel of the rim. McDermott fighting for the rebound, and they give the ball to Science.
Great inside feed by the bus driver, Omar. Terrific pass. Watch this. Look inside the zone. Great pass and a great finish by Virgil Williams.
Science looking to tie it up on this possession. I'll work it down low to Brian Field. No goal. Traveling violation, and they turn it over.
Nice looking out of bounds play. The inbounds passer stepped in. They threw it right back to him, but he was called for a travel. Now we got this defense extended three-quarter court. The 1-2-2.
Against pressure. Pitman able to get it to Meyer, who goes back door. Turnaround by John Crispin, who's got two more.
That guy's a sophomore?
Yes, he is.
That's a heck of a family, you know, this Crispin family related to basketball. We'll touch on that a little later.
Howard on the dribble drive off the heel of the rim. That won't go. The ball is tipped, knocked out of bounds. They're going to give it to Science. Let's get a look inside.
Terrific inside feed. He comes under the goal, protects the ball well, and kisses it off the glass.
Good look at Joe Crispin on defense. Inbounds pass is almost stolen by Myers. Loose on the floor. Body's crashing. Who's going to get it? Whistled. Held ball. The arrow points to Pitman.
Science has been a little sluggish here in the start offensively.
On the inbounds. It'll be Joe Crispin. Splits the double team. Now they try to triple team him. He lost a handle. Hensel tries to get his hands on it, but can't. Taylor back the other way. Good for two.
Well, that's Science's game, Mick. They have to get some transition goals out of their defense.
Crispin in a hurry. Lost a handle going up, and his shot is short. And an easy rebound for Virgil Williams. Now it's loose.
Body's flying.
And here's a three. That's no good. Crispin missed it. Body's still flying. Are they going to call traveling? No, I think they're going to call timeout for Science.
You know, Mick, this is what I love about high school basketball. These kids are really laying it on the line out there. Diving for the ball, going after the loose. Look at this.
Well, great hustle. And finally, Science will come up with the basketball. I'll tell you what, this is the kind of hustle that makes for championship memories.
It's all so important, particularly when that's what you rely on.
Hope you're enjoying the action. We'll come back with more in a moment on the Comcast Network. Stay with us. Welcome back to Atlantic City. Pitman with a 2-point lead, but already we've seen helter-skelter basketball. I get so fast I can't even say it here in the first quarter.
Well, that's the way Science likes to play. They want the ball to be up and down the floor. They want diving after the loose when they go 10 deep. So they figure as the game goes on, if they can really force the action, maybe they can wear Pitman down in the last quarter.
Haven't seen any subs yet, but Coach Gaylord says it won't take long to go to the bench. Out front, Taylor controls the offense.
Now, Pitman is doing an interesting thing here. They're playing a 1-2-2 zone or 3-2 zone, and they're really sagging.
And an air ball forced up by Samad Taylor.
I think what they're doing is challenging Science to beat him from the perimeter.
Here comes Myers off glass. That's no good. And a rebound goes to Science. Good hustle inside by Akil McGill. In transition, almost a steal, and there's one coming up here. Ron Myers picked it off. He'll take it himself, and it won't drop. Joe Crispin keeps it alive. Myers up strong. Foul. It didn't go. He'll go to the line for a pair.
Well, Myers is staying after it. He's a young guy. He's averaging about 14 points a game, too, and oftentimes gets overlooked because of the high scoring of the Crispin brothers. But look at him come back into the play after this shot now. The ball's kicked around. There he is, back in after it. Takes it under the goal and goes to the foul line.
Ron Myers, 22 points against Highland Park, makes the first at the line, and it's 7-4 for Pitman.
And in that game, I think he had 13 rebounds also, which is important. And he looks like, you know, to be their size guy out there.
He is having one run in the Group 1 tournament, but he missed the second, and Virgil Williams will control the glass.
Now watch Pitman. They really packing in this zone. They don't have a guy outside the three-point area, and they're just saying, beat us from the perimeter.
Jumper on the way, no good by McGill, and they haven't hit one from outside yet. John Crispin will bring it up. Errant pass is picked off inside by Brian Field, and there's the turnover.
And Joe Crispin hasn't had a lot of touches in this game so far.
He'll swing this time for McGill. Skip pass to Taylor. Taylor all net from about 14 feet away.
Well, that's what they're going to have to do because Pitman is challenging him to beat him from out there.
7-6 to score. And this pass is broken up and it's deflected right to Omar Howard. Howard one-on-one on the open court. Off the Hibbler rim, it won't drop. Gets his own rebound, up strong, draws air. It's being tipped around, and finally, Ron Myers comes down with it for Pitman.
And the pace is up and down.
Just like we thought it would be. Here's a three on the way. No good by Joe Crispin, but a whistle. And I think we have a loose ball foul underneath. 35 pushing off. That'll be Matt Hensel, the senior, picks up the foul.
And immediately, Science goes 4 guys into their bench.
Substitutions abound.
Well, Coach Gaylord said it. We're going to go 10 deep, and he's not wasting any time doing it.
Rasheed Taylor, the sophomore, will inbound. Wiping up a little moisture in front of the Science bench, and we're about ready to go. So here's a sophomore who's going to inbound the basketball for Science. They keep Samad Taylor out there, the junior, to run the point.
Look at this packed-in zone. They're just not coming out and pressuring anybody on the perimeter.
Loftus inside. That won't go. He fights for his own rebound, and we have a held ball, and the arrow points to Science.
Science has run a couple of interesting out-of-bounds plays where they just sneak somebody into the crease there. That time they throw it back out top.
Rasheed Taylor wants one from 16. That's off the front of the rim, no good. The ball is not saved, though. as Samad Taylor couldn't keep it in.
Here's Science in their press.
Pitman will bring it up with Joe Crispin, double team. Jumper on the way from the foul line, no good by Kensel, and Science will control. And the pace is not slowing down at all.
Both teams are not shooting the ball real well right now.
Haseen Cornegay off the rim. This is tipped up. Are they going to count the basket or not? They haven't made the determination yet. Pushing on the offense, no goal.
Called it on the rebound on the guy that made the putback.
Oh, got a good look at it here.
Here it is. Looks like he's straight up there, but the official had a better angle than we did.
Lights has scored the goal, but they took it away from him. Joe Crispin goes through 4, almost 5. It was tipped from behind, and Omar Howard will control for Science. Looking to give Science the lead. Jumper off the back of the rim, no good, and we have a loose ball rebound foul.
Well, we touched on this before, Mick. You know, this is a new venue for these kids. I mean, this is the depth perception on the shooting in this arena is very difficult. They're used to their high school gyms, and you can see it in the early going. They're just not making shots.
That's a great point, Ted. This place is kind of vast, and that depth perception is probably having a big factor on these young guys right now. On the inbounds, Rashid Taylor runs the point.
Pitman scores 82 a game, and right now they got 6.
That tells you something, and there's 2:02 to play here in the first quarter. Howard kicks it back. Jumper on away by Elitis is all net from about 16 feet away. And it's an 8-7 lead for Science, and the pressure almost caused a turnover. Pitman's got to break the timeline, and they will. Nice look inside.
Look.
Myers off the back of the rim. That won't drop. And Haseen Cornegay will bring it up for Science out of Newark. They're in white today. And they lead at 8-7. Time winding away here in the first quarter.
And the pace is really favoring Science. You can see some of the Pitman kids already are a little open mouth.
Jumper on the way here by Haseen Cornegay is short. And John Crispin gives up to his brother Joe, who will bring it up.
Good matchup right here. Howard and Pitman.
Crispin's jumper, good.
Crispin breaks the ice.
Now, he needed that shot to get himself on track. He's averaging 32 points a ball game. He had a 50-point game and also a 56-point game in this tournament stretch.
Well, as you look at that shot, you can see why. Good rotation, good spot up, good setup. Dribbled across to his left hand, got his feet under him, made an excellent shot.
Science going to play for the final shot here. You see the clock ticking away. They trail by 1.
Pitman extends a little bit. They bring point guy out, bother the ball.
See if they get the ball in Omar Howard's hands as the clock is down to about the 10-second mark. Howard's calling for it, but he doesn't have it yet. Howard comes to the foul line, and now Omar Howard has it. Off the back of the rim, it won't drop. It's tipped out of bounds, and Science still has the basketball with 4.4 to go in the quarter.
More substitutions for Science.
Each team with trouble shooting here in the first half, but Science to inbound under its own basket. On the inbounds, they try to force it into Jihad Campbell. It's picked up in the paint. Score the goal for Akil McGill. And the junior gets it to drop. And we have a 10-9 lead for Science as they score the goal here at the end of the first quarter. Hope you're enjoying the action on Comcast. We'll come back with more in a moment. As we come back, look at the inbounds play.
Yeah, they've run that little, couple of those little plays 3 or 4 times where they just sneak the ball in tight to a cutter. And as you can see it right there, into a seam. The ball's kicked around loose. Science comes up with it. And Akil McGill knocks it down. Science up 1, 10-9, the score of the game, definitely favoring Science because Pitman wants it up in the 80s and 90s.
I would say the pace is what we thought it would be, but right now the score is not. Each team having trouble shooting. Science is just 5 of 15 from the field in the first quarter as we start period number 2, and there's a block shot, and Science back on the attack. They lead it by 1.
Well, the kinds of shots I think that Pitman are getting is probably not what they like. They're quick shots. Crispin's not getting enough looks at the basket.
And the defense almost caused a turnover after the 3 by Samad Taylor. Well, you see the shooting right there. Pitman just 4 of 13, but Science not much better.
Well, the way the game's being played, they've taken Crispin out of it a little bit. I think he's only gotten 2 or 3 shots in the first quarter. And, he needs to get more touches of the ball in that because he makes things happen.
Skip pass from McDermott. Now here is Joe Crispin. He lets it fly. He's got another 3.
Well, you can see he can just flat out shoot it. That's a great release. Terrific rotation. Yeah, they passed the ball. They got an open shot rather than hurrying.
Omar Howard gives it up. Nice baseline drive by McGill. It doesn't go. We have a whistle inside. I think it's on Pitman. It is.
And I think what we're seeing is Science with fresh bodies, very active, very quick to the ball. They're starting to take over on the offensive board.
And watch the follow inside here, and as Williams goes up, they got him.
Yeah, they're really attacking the glass, and they're going to keep throwing fresh bodies out there.
Virgil Williams makes his first at the line. Averages just over 7 points and 6 rebounds a contest.
I think another thing we may see as this game continues is Science is attacking the basket, going to the foul line.
An offensive rebound on the free throw.
Pitman doesn't have much depth, and if they could get in foul trouble, it really hurt him.
Reach in foul here, and I think it's going to go against Virgil Williams. It will.
But again, that's a good foul, Mick, because you want your guys to attack the goal, and if a foul occurs, well, that's part of what happens.
Pitman almost mishandles the basketball. Spin dribble in the lane by John Crispin. That's no good. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch, they say, by Samad Taylor, and Pitman has it under their own goal.
I think the pressure, here we go.
Last touch by Samad Taylor. Good call going out. Here is Crispin in traffic. It won't go, and a rebound for Virgil Williams for Science out of Newark. Nice crossover dribble on the drive by Taylor. It won't go. And Myers controls the glass for Pitman. 2-on-2 if they hurry. And there's a bump foul before the shot.
Well, Crispin is good in the open floor. You can see he's equally good dribbler with his right hand and his left hand. Coming down the floor with his right hand, or his left hand, that time, and draws the foul.
Second foul on Omar Howard, and he will be forced to the bench. They hate to lose his scoring at 19 points a ball game.
Well, he does so much for them.
On the inbounds, they may call an offensive foul. They will. So Joe Crispin, just like that, returns the favor.
Well, they doubled him out there. I don't know, a little questionable call here. Might have been a fall down.
Well, he was leaning and he had the arm out in front.
That's a good call. Good call by the official.
Third team foul against Pitman. Newark Science with the ball as they trail by 2, 14-12. They can tie on this trip. So far, they've been just working it around the perimeter. On the drive, Hornegay rolls it off the rim, and a push on the drive.
And you can see Science, they attack the seam with the dribble. They're really attacking into the defense rather than settling on perimeter shots.
Fouls on Myers.
They just sneak somebody in there.
Got to get it in soon. 5-second violation, and the defense caused the turnover.
Good defense by Pitman.
You don't see that very often. They want to get the ball in the hands of Joe Crispin, and they do. Nice behind the back dribble down the lane. Good feed. McDermott couldn't get at the ball, and a rebound for Virgil Williams.
Well, he probably should have pulled it out because he didn't make a clean catch.
Jump all the way here, and Taylor calls home. Samad Taylor, the junior, nails the jumper. 16-12 now. for Science as they're on a run.
They really have the pace going the way they want it.
Great pressure defense, too. Joe Crispin wants a jumper, and it bounces over the goal out of bounds.
I think right now this game is being played right into Science's hands. They've got them rushing, they've got them hurrying, they've got the game at such a fast pace. And with their substitution pattern, I think it's going to be a big advantage to them. Pitman's got to do a better job of changing the pace of the game, attacking the press, and then making sure that every possession is a good shot.
Pitman just 1 for 5 from three-point land so far, so the shots have not dropped for them.
And everything's a hurried shot.
Jumper on the way here by McGill. That's no good. Offside rebound is loose. It's in the paint, and they say last touch by Science. 16-12 to score with Science out of Newark leading Pitman here in the Group 1 championship game in Atlantic City. Double team pressure. Kensel will control. Gives up for Pitman, or rather for Joe Crispin.
Another thing that's happening here is Crispin is handling the ball in the backcourt. That is Joe Crispin. He's throwing it ahead, and many times he's not getting the ball back, so he's not getting that many touches. He's not getting that actively involved in the offense, and I think they need to come into the front court, settle it down, and run a half-court offense.
Here's the younger of the two. John's free throw is all net.
Because it's tempting, you know, you get some open shots, and it's tempting for Pitman to attack, but that's just the pace that Science wants.
John Crispin makes the Bears, the second leading scorer on the team. And it's 16-14, Science the lead and the ball. Hornegay had an errant pass that got tipped all the way up to the glass, and Kensel controls. Here comes Joe Crispin. Nice pass at the block for a layup.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. He has to have the ball more in the attack area. Excellent pass. Look off, going left, kicking the ball to the right.
Just as important to finish by Ron Myers, and we have a tie ball game. Hornegay gives up. Jumper coming up here for Rasheed Taylor's no good. Offside rebound put back no good by McGill. McGill still fighting. Lost the handle, got hit. He goes to the floor and he is down. Science still has the basketball, and we have an official time to stop play as it looked like Akil McGill got hit in the face.
Well, there was a wild melee for the ball, and couldn't tell what happened, but he obviously took a poke. Here it is. Oh, yeah, he gets hit across the side of the head by Pat McDermott.
Well, let's take a look at the last basket in transition
He's
here.
coming left, looks off, kicks it to the right. Meyer with the finish. But see, that's the kind of thing that they need to do. They can't have him throwing the ball from the backcourt into the front court and the other guys all handling it. He's got to get it back in the attack area where he can make things happen. And when he doesn't do that, that plays exactly into Science's hands. That's just what they want him to do.
Science has the ball. We are tied at 16. 4:09 to play here in the first half. Jumper on the way by Taylor. That is short. And Pitman has the basketball. They can take a lead on this trip. Here comes Joe Crispin. Pulls up for a three. Lets it go. It's off the front of the iron short. Nice rebound, though, by his brother, John Crispin. Joe in transition had a pass tipped away. Good defense. It's out of bounds.
Tell you what, every shot he takes, though, has a chance of going in. It's right on the front. That one was right on the front rim. And
we have
good-looking shot every time.
Official timeout. 16 all. Back with more in a moment on the Comcast Network.
This is about the bar edition.
Okay. We're good to go. Rolling tapes.
Hello, I'm Lynn Doyle, and this is Comcast Newsmakers.
Doing an outstanding job in this partnership with you.
The obvious question here is, you go...
Comcast Newsmakers with Lynn Doyle, a new approach to the way you watch the people who make news happen. Twice every hour at 25 minutes past the hour and 30 minutes later at 55 minutes after the hour. Comcast Newsmakers, only on CNN Headline News.
A barrier is broken. A wall comes tumbling down, and two worlds come together. The earth meets the sky. the Negro League meets the Major League. Fine art meets pop art, and our world is never quite the same again. Now suppose such a change was about to happen in the world of finance. Suppose someone was about to marry the savvy of a Wall Street broker with the common sense of a Main Street banker, giving more people more access to more financial services than ever before. Supposing it was even possible, this first union between a broker and a banker. Whatever would you call it? That's what we thought.
Welcome back to the beautiful convention center here in Atlantic City. The First Union Group 1 championship game between Science of Newark and Pitman, New Jersey, and we are tied at 16. And Mick Mottinghoff and Ted Fiore with you this afternoon. Ted, the pace is exactly what we thought it would be, and well, those guys right there, Science and Newark, headed by Milton Gaylord, have really forced the tempo.
Well, they sure have, and as I said before, the important thing for them is to keep the game running, to keep the pace up, because they believe by going 10 deep, where Pitman only goes 5 or 6 deep, as long as the game goes on, everything favors them. So we'll see.
On the inbounds, they'll swing to Joe Crispin. He wants a 3 off the front of the rim. That's no good, and the loose ball is tipped and kept alive nicely. And Lightus controls, and Science will bring it up. Cornegay goes out front for Rasheed Taylor.
I think what we have here is a little combo defense. I think they're playing a boxing 1 on Samad Taylor. Pat McDermott playing Taylor. The other 4 guys playing zone because they feel Taylor's the guy that's been hurting them offensively.
You're absolutely right, but here Taylor shakes free. We'll see if he tries to break down McDermott. No, he gives away.
You can see they're making it a 4-on-4 game. They're trying to take Taylor out of it with McDermott. Taylor's doing a good job. He's working, he's moving.
But so far, Science has not panicked on the offensive end. They're running their plays.
Very good defensive maneuver here.
Here is Taylor. Did he travel? I think he did. Yes. Well, they finally freed up Taylor for a shot. He traveled in the paint.
Well, Pitman has a good defensive game plan. They're just telling Science, we challenge you to beat us from the perimeter. And now they're trying to take their best perimeter player out of the game. And there's Crispin.
From 15, it won't drop. Put back on the way by Kensel. That's no good. Here is Myers off glass, and it drops for Ron Myers, the junior. And we have a body down at the other end. And it's Samad Taylor.
That was off the ball. Looks like he hit the shot in the ribs.
So it looks like Taylor will go to the bench just for a brief rest. Since they have to stop play and they come on the floor, he has to go out or they're charged with a timeout.
That's right. And in comes Omar Howard.
So it'll be Howard and Rasheed Taylor in the backcourt now, along with Haseen Cornegay, a senior. They handle the basketball against pressure. Pitman with a 16-18 lead, and here comes Omar Howard, who's been kind of quiet so far in the first half.
They keep the defense the same. Now they're playing Howard boxing 1.
Rasheed Taylor swings to the near side. Jumper on the way, off the glass, no good by Jihad Campbell, and Pitman has the basketball.
Myers starting to take over on the glass.
Here comes Joe Crispin. It won't drop.
There's Meyer again.
And we have a defensive loose ball foul as Myers went strong to the glass. He came up with a foul.
Well, Ronnie Myers is just a workhorse on the glass now in the last 2 or 3 minutes. He's just getting every rebound on both ends.
And we have a timeout taken by Science as they trail by 2, 18-16 with 2:10 to play here in the first half.
Well, we've had a wild and woolly one here. I mean, they're up and down the floor. Just nothing's going in the goal for either team. And a team that's averaging 82 points a game being held to 18, you know, that's really been advantageous to Science because they can't buy a basket, yet they're still in the game.
If you'd like a copy of today's game, there's the phone number to call, 908-602-7492, extension 2211, and you can obtain a copy of the Group 1 championship game today here in Atlantic City. Hope you're enjoying the action here on the Comcast Network. Convention Center is buzzing. Pretty good crowd on hand here for our Group 1 championship game. Pitman, the top team from the south, and Science of Newark, the North Section 2 champion. And at the foul line is number 13, Ron Myers, the junior, for Pitman. Rolls it off the iron, but he has one more coming.
He backed off the shot that time. He's got a nice looking stroke. He's just got to stay on the line and not back out of there.
The 6'4" junior can't get it to drop, and Science can tie on this trip with a 2 as Omar Howard, the senior, brings it up. Joe Crispin's on him. They picked him off nicely. Jumper by Howard is good. They ran a pick play to perfection.
Well, they screened the top guy on the boxing one, and came off him, and wide open shot.
Deflected right in front of us. I was ready.
Well, Samad Taylor's back in the game.
See how Pitman controls this possession. And this pass goes on the backcourt violation.
Well, they ran a trap at the ball, and he quickly threw it. Probably ill-advised. He rushed it. He saw the second guy coming at him, and he just threw the ball, and an ill-advised pass.
Tied at 18 with 1:36 to go in the first half. Cornegay gives Science the lead with a jumper.
Well, they were absolutely daring him to shoot that shot.
Well, they haven't knocked that many down, so it's a good strategy.
Absolutely. He's done a good scouting report here. He knows what he has to do.
They are pressuring the heck out of Joe Crispin. This ball's knocked out of bounds, and luckily for Pitman, they have possession.
I think the big thing that's happening here is Joe Crispin just hasn't started to hit his shots yet.
Still, it's anybody's ball game. Science is up by 2. Time winding down here in the first half. John Crispin with a basketball against zone pressure. I wouldn't play zone with that guy. Well, Crispin just off the front of the iron, no good. Nice rebound inside by Myers. He missed it. The follow is rejected. McMaster had it put back in his face. But here comes Crispin driving and a blocking foul. And nice drive to the goal by John Crispin, the sophomore. But he is slow to get up.
Let's see if he gets there. That's a tough one. I don't know. I always used to agree with officials.
You used to agree with officials?
That one maybe. I'm not so sure about that one. Virgil was there. Looked like he was there taking it. Didn't get the call.
I got to remind our fans, this is Ted Fiore, a former college coach, calling this game here today. The first one is good by John Crispin. And here's the substitution. That is Lightus. Moislin Lightus, who checks in, and going to the bench is Jihad Campbell. Crispin with one more. John Crispin, the sophomore, has the free throw.
Well, neither team has been able to make any kind of a run, and the game's just been back and forth. 2-point lead here, 4-point lead, but nothing ever more than that. And just back and forth.
Well, it has been pressure all day long, but the shooting percentages just haven't matched what we thought they would. Time winding down here in the first half. Science with the basketball, and Omar Howard will pull it out with 30 seconds to play here in the first half.
Well, nice patient little sets here.
Oh, here's a tip pass, and 2-on-2 if they hurry. Joe Crispin, layup, good basket, and a foul.
That's a terrific play. He was setting that up all the way. He had his body protecting him against the defender, took it to the hole with the defender at his back. He wouldn't let the guy get position. That's a real good basketball play. Watch him setting this up. He's keeping himself. He knows the contact is coming, and he's strong to the goal. Excellent play.
He's got 7 points, looking for his 8th of the first half, and Joe Crispin has it. 23-20. That may give Pitman the momentum as we get ready for the start of the second half with just 14 seconds to go. Taylor will pull it out. Samad Taylor.
1-3-1, a little pressure here now by Pitman.
That ball was kicked.
Change of defense.
Let's look at the way that the body control.
Yeah, watch him protect himself. He knows he's getting hit. He looks at the defender, wards him off, and makes a great finish.
That's why Pitman's up by 3. Here comes Taylor. Taylor to the foul line, lean in off the heel of the rim. It's tipped, no good. Tipped again. The ball comes back. Desperation shot. And it counts!
Count it!
Ryan Field hits it. It's a three-pointer. And we are tied at 23 as we end the first half. The ball was being tipped around. It came back to Brian Field, and the sophomore gets it to fall.
It's tournament time. It's tournament time. All this stuff happens. That's a highlight film. No doubt about it.
We are tied at 23 as we go to halftime. We hope you're enjoying the action today in the Group 1 final right here on the Comcast Network. Welcome back here to the Convention Center in Atlantic City, and it's a well of a ball game in this Group 1 championship. We are tied at 23 with Pitman and Science. Hope you're enjoying the action today right here on the Comcast Network. Let's go to Ted Fiore, who's standing by with a halftime guest.
Well, it's exciting here at the Atlantic City Convention Center, and with me is an old friend of mine, the assistant Executive Director of the NJSIAA, Ernie Finizio. And we've been friends a long time. But Ernie, this is exciting for you. I think you're in a new position. We're back at this old venue, the Atlantic City Convention Hall. Tell us how this all came about.
Yes, Teddy, we are very excited here at NJSIAA. I can remember back in the 60s when my hometown of Roselle Park played down here. We're back, I think, but primarily because of Boyd Sands and his relationship with Mayor James Whalen. His dream was to have a high school championship weekend, and we have produced it now in 1997 with the great wrestling tournament the last 2 days, and the wonderful tradition here with the basketball this Sunday afternoon, and things are going very, very well.
Ernie, I can remember that we had this tournament back here many, many years ago, and I loved the format. I think everybody did, and we were away from it for quite some time. Was there any corporate sponsorship or anything involved in helping us get back here?
One of my major roles, along with the 8 sports that I supervise, is the development of the corporate program for NJSIAA. And yes, First Union Bank has done an outstanding job in the promotion of basketball throughout the state of New Jersey. And they are our prime sponsors for both the boys and girls championships. Yesterday we had Bob's Stores located in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut sponsoring the wrestling tournament. And just as some of the school districts are developing partnerships because finances are tight in education today, and these sponsorships have enhanced the programs for our student athletes across the state of New Jersey.
Right. There's also talk I've heard of a sportsmanship summit, which is coming and being sponsored by the NJSIAA. Tell us a little bit about that, Ernie.
Yes, Teddy. The NJSIAA has placed a major focus on sportsmanship, and to that end, we're developing a conference on a statewide basis for administrators, coaches, to promote sportsmanship on a more statewide level, to counteract some of the difficulties that we see on television, and to keep the high school sportsmanship level at its highest degree.
Well, I can tell you this. As long as you're involved, I know we're going to have quality stuff going on for athletes in the state of New Jersey, Ernie. Thanks for being with us today. I want to turn it back to my partner, Mick.
Thanks. We get ready. We have a great ball game unfolding before us here at the half. 23-all between Science of Newark and the Pitman Panthers. We'll come back with the second half in just a moment. Welcome back to the Convention Center here in Atlantic City, the NJSIAA First Union Group 1 Championship game. We are all tied at 23, the Panthers of Pitman and the Chargers from Science in Newark, New Jersey. And Ted Fiore, you were right on the money when you talked about this facility and shooting here in the first half. As we take a look at the percentages, each team really struggled trying to get the ball in the basket.
Well, there's no question about it. I think Pitman relies on their shooting. I mean, it's probably more detrimental to them that they're not making their shots. And I think, you know, the arena, the whole atmosphere here doesn't favor great shooting. But it'll be an interesting second half.
Crispin averages 32 points a game, and he only has 8 here in the first half. That's Joe.
Well, that's obviously a big stat, and I think Science is very, very happy with the game being right where it is, 23-23. It's not going to be a high-scoring tilt, and, they're right in it, and they also feel that their depth will come into play later on in the game. So, will Crispin heat up? Will Science keep the game just the way it is? That's what we're here to find out.
Defense should tell the story, as it usually does. Omar Howard has the basketball for Science to start the third quarter. Again, we are tied at 23. And the Group 1 championship game down the lane, and here's a steal. Coming up with it is Myers, gets it ahead to John Crispin. Good basket and a foul. They called it intentional. And John Crispin will go to the line for 2.
Well, intentional foul call here, and that could really be big because they'll get the free throw and the ball out of bounds. 2 free throws. The ball out of bounds, this can turn out to be a 6 or 7 point play, and it's very, very critical in the game, at this juncture. But there it is, defense creating offense. Usually that's Science's trait.
Crispin misses his first at the line. This is John Crispin, a sophomore. His grandfather, Cliff Crispin, was a coach, and his dad also coached at Glassboro High. So
Cliff
a great
Crispin,
basketball family.
He's a legendary coach. He's coached a long time at Camden County Community College, and I think he's still coaching baseball there.
And here's the inbounds play. This ball is tipped, knocked out of bounds. Who has it? They're going to give it to Pitman. Well, right now, John Crispin, the leading scorer in the ball game with 11 points. So if you would have said the sophomore would have taken the reins, you might have been scratching your head, but he's doing it right now, and he's got the basketball in the backcourt. Breakdown move, jumper for 3. That's off the side of the rim, no good. And Science has the rebound as Virgil Williams controls. Samad Taylor scoops to the hoop, and he scores.
Coast to coast.
Samad Taylor, nice basket, and here's a 1-2-1-1 full court trap. Joe Crispin breaks it, bounce pass to Myers, layup good.
Well, that's what he does so well. When he's in the middle of the attack area, going to the basket, he can not only score, he's a terrific passer.
Omar Howard with the basketball, knifes in, off glass, that won't go. Howard gets his own follow, that's no good, and Little McDermott comes down with it and starts the break. Joe Crispin in a hurry, nice bounce pass, turnaround to his brother, good! John Crispin with a turnaround, and it counts.
Well, now he's had the ball deep in the attack area twice, and both times he's made them pay, and that's what he has to do more. He's got to be handling down in the offensive area.
John Crispin with 13 to lead all scorers. It's 30-25. Pitman up 5-5. Science with the basketball. Here is Omar Howard in traffic, forced it, and we have a foul en route to the hoop. It may be a shooting foul.
Well, you can see the pattern here. I mean, Science just does not shoot the ball well from the perimeter, so they're just attacking via the dribble. There it is. He splits the seam. It's in there. Draws the foul.
Let's take a look at this last bucket by John Crispin.
He's got a terrific, and that's a great finish by his brother, by the way. Great finish. But Joe has a terrific knack of going one way, looking off, and throwing back in the other direction for finishing passes.
Omar Howard missed the first at the line. He had 18 against Midland Park to help his team get here to this final. This one rolls off the rim, no good. The putback on the way, no basket, but a foul, and Virgil Williams with a nice offensive rebound will go to the line.
Well, that's what Virgil has to do for him. He has to be active on the glass, and they don't make shots. They've got to get seconds and thirds.
Good look at Craig Harper from Pitman as he stalks the sidelines. Milton Gaylord watches his team go to the free throw line where they have to make some hay now.
It's amazing. They both look so cool.
They do.
But I hate to think of what's going on inside them.
Virgil Williams, the senior, makes his first at the line. Well, the fans trying to get in his way a little bit. The group behind the hoop can't do their job as it drops.
It's important that they score, too, because then they can get their press going.
3-point ball game. Pitman the lead in the ball. Myers hands off, and here comes Joe Crispin on the drive. score the goal and the foul for Joe Crispin.
Well, I don't think there's any question that Coach Harper told his team at halftime, look, we've got to get the ball into Joe's hands much more often than we have. And he's got to have it in the attack area. And you can see he's creating things here. Great move to the basket. Look at that fall away. Bang.
We'll be back with more on the Comcast Network in just a moment, so stay with us here in Atlantic City. Welcome back to the NJSIAA Group 1 Championship game sponsored by First Union. Still got quite a ball game, but Pitman getting the ball in the hands of Joe Crispin, and he's been able to create and score.
Well, the guy has 2,500, almost 2,600 points over his career, and probably by now has 2,600. But the thing that I think people forget is what a terrific passer is. He's got such great court vision. He knows what's happening out there all the time, and he very infrequently makes a bad decision with the ball. This kid can play.
I know Charlie Woolen, the head coach down at William & Mary, wants this guy in the worst way, but he's also been touted by St. Bonaventure, Delaware, and Fairfield.
Well, there's no question he'd be a good Division I player on that level.
Missed a free throw, and Science will have the basketball. Well, today it has been a Crispin kind of day. The brothers combining for 23 of the 32 points that Pitman has on the scoreboard. With the basketball, Rasheed Taylor goes up out front now. Jahad Campbell hands off to Omar Howard.
Pitman's done a nice job defensively. They've changed defenses. They've gone to this box and one, which they've stayed with now for quite some time. And it's given Science some problems.
Well, Howard draws the foul, and he will go to the free throw line, and he's trying to get on track here in the second half. Averages almost 20 points a ball game, but didn't have quite the first half that he wanted. You can see only 4 points so far today. I'll make it 5. 32-28, Science trails, and every free throw becomes very important now down the stretch.
Yeah, I think this game is you're gonna see a run somewhere that's gonna decide the game. I really think it's, there's the tip in.
And I think it's gonna be Leitis who is credited with the tip. It is. Makes it a 2-point ball game. Pitman the lead in the ball. And Crispin fires from long distance and nails a 3. Joe
Did
Crispin.
you see how quickly he got that thing and got rid of it? Excellent release, quick release.
And a foul back the other way, a holding foul out front. And the foul is on number 5, that is John Crispin.
Probably not a good foul. You want to be aggressive out there, but you don't want to be fouling people 40 feet away from the goal.
Omar Howard in transition, scores the basket. So Omar Howard starts to come to life here in the third quarter. And it's still anybody's ball game with 5:09 to play here in the third. John Crispin for 3, and he calls home.
Do you think those guys practice? I wonder if those two guys practice.
Probably for hours on end. Who's the better three-point shooter? Here's the drive and score this one for Rasheed Taylor, the sophomore.
And you can see they're from a coaching family because they just do everything. Their shooting is precise, great technique.
And that pass just a little too high, glances off the hands of John Crispin and goes out of bounds. Well, this has turned out to be quite the Group 1 championship final. Here is a shot on the way, no good by Rasheed Taylor, and Pitman controls the rebound.
And you know who's done a nice job here is little Pat McCormick defensively.
Here's a strip throw by Omar Howard, 2-on-1 if they hurry. Howard with the layup. Well, he put the pressure on Crispin and took it away from him.
Well, these guys are quick, and they're going to get you. Every once in a while, they're going to get you.
Pitman the lead and the ball as they lead by 2. John Crispin with a ball fake, mites to the goal, off glass, won't go. Myers keeps it alive, and he is fouled from behind, and Myers will go to the line for a pair. And I believe they're going to call it on Jahad Campbell, the freshman.
Well, there's Myers again. Active on the offensive glass, going to the foul line. Now he's got to convert on him.
Great effort by Myers to keep that ball alive and not too much fooling around when you're in the paint. Take it right up.
Right up to the hole. Good move.
Looking for double figures is Myers, and he rattles it home. 39-36. Pitman up by 3 with another free throw coming. The lefty does not get the roll. And the rebound controlled by Jihad Campbell for Science. Taylor wants a 3, no good. The ball is loose, a bad box out. Taylor the follow, that won't drop. And a loose ball foul, they're going to call it on Taylor for coming over the back. Saman Taylor whistled down on the call.
Well, they can't get the ball down. They're very quick and active to the ball, but they just can't get their shots to go.
Taylor's just a junior.
But they're hanging around.
Anybody's game so far. Here's that 2-2-1 full court press. Just daring them to pull it up near midcourt. Pitman with a nice job of getting it down low. Good pass inside, and Hensel can't get it to drop. It's loose on the floor. He goes down on the deck after it, and the arrow points to Pitman.
Calm down, calm down.
Went to a basketball game and a hockey game broke out.
Well, they just get a little over-exuberant there. It was a good play. It was the officials right in there.
Well, they were fighting for this one all the way.
Yeah, they're going at it, and this is terrific. I mean, this is all you ask you kids. Get on the floor, get after the loose one.
Well, they were fighting for rebound on that one.
The officials are right in there.
Take a look at the rebounds here today, Ted. Pretty close.
Yeah. It really is.
Well, players shaking hands as they have
Good job.
realized it's all a heat of the moment.
That's right.
Nothing personal.
Just a bunch of kids playing hard.
McMaster on the inbounds, and here is a 3 outside by Joe Crispin.
Well, he's heating up. He's heating up. I mean, there's just some way you got to take him out of the game because he's starting to heat it up. And
back the other way, Howard in the paint, can't get it to fall on the rebound. Picked up by Ron Myers, who has stepped it up in the third quarter, rebounding. John Crispin fires the pass inside. This is off the rim, no good, and the putback will count.
Ron Myers again.
And a timeout called on the floor. Pitman, fans on their feet. They lead it 44-36. You said somebody would get a run, Ted, and so far it's Pitman here in the third quarter.
Pitman has made the run, and I'll tell you one thing that's been very, very obvious is Pitman is not getting tired. They're just keeping after it, and Ronnie Myers doing a great job on the offensive boards in this period, and Joe Crispin doing a terrific job of leading the offense both in terms of scoring and passing. And, this is Pitman basketball this third quarter.
A lot of people thought that Pitman would struggle if they had to go toe-to-toe inside against Science from Newark, but they've done a good job on the backboard, and Myers has been the guy who has kind of fueled their fire as far as the rebounds go.
Well, he has. He's done a terrific job, and he's a kid that's done it all year. When you're playing with guys that are averaging 30 points a game, you don't get the notoriety, but he's done a real nice job of playing.
Well, there is the grandfather.
There's the guru.
The guru, if you will.
There's the guy that, started it all.
Cliff Crispin coached at Pitman, took him to a state semifinal back in 68-69, and he has the grandsons doing a great job here today.
I tell you, that is terrific, though, isn't it, when you think of the legacy of that.
2:56 to play here in the third quarter.
Well, they're back to a straight 1-2-2 or 3-2 zone.
Trying to force the issue, Science. They kick it out around the horn. On the baseline, Howard has it knocked out of bounds. Science still has possession. With 2:39 to play here in the third. It'll be Samad Taylor to inbound under the basket.
Science always looks to sneak someone in a crease here. Let's see if they get something and they're out of bounds. Yes, they do.
Nice block from behind, but they call a foul on Matt Kensel. He might have got him with the body. They ran a nice inbounds play to Howard. Let's take a look.
That's really simple. They just run somebody into a crease. And I think it's, Coach tells them, look at the defense, read the defense, get into a seam, and they've done that all day. And the out-of-bounds plays have really been effective for Science.
Double figures now for Omar Howard, his 10th of the day. 44-37. Science trails, trying to make a little hay at the free throw line, and they do with Omar Howard. And here's the pressure defense. Joe Crispin to his brother John. Dribbles in traffic, pulls up from 15, off the side of the rim, no good. And there is Ron Myers with another rebound. Down low, nice look, no basket. Good look from the point, though, by Joe Crispin to help set up a shot in the paint. And I believe the foul's on Brian Field.
Well, you know, when he's up in the air, everybody in the gym believes he's going to shoot it. You know, but I think that's what makes him so effective, is that, you know, people start following the flight of the ball before he releases it, and he sees things around on the court. He's got such great court perception and awareness.
Good look at the junior, Dan McMaster. And this one is good. McMaster with another coming. Trying to make it 46, and he does. 46-38, Pitman. And the fans, well, they're on their feet here as Pitman doing a great job. This one's knocked out of bounds by John Crispin. It stays to Science. Good hustle. He's doing it at both ends.
It sure is. Really trying to pack that zone in.
Omar Howard with the basketball has 11 points in this quarter alone. See if they set him up. They do. Here comes Howard. Gives up now for Taylor. Jumper off glass, won't count. There is Meyer with a rebound. And they're trying to release John Crispin. There he is, deep in the corner. Wants a two. This is short, no good. And the rebound is controlled, and here comes Howard.
3-on-1.
Nice job running the floor for Moislin Lightus. Back the other way in a hurry. Pitman trying to pick up the pace, and John Crispin turned it over.
Now this is Science's pace. This is what they must do.
Here comes
get out running.
Howard, no basket, but a foul, and they're going to call it on Joe Crispin. Omar Howard single-handedly trying to bring Science back.
Now here he comes and goes by him on the left-handed dribble. Good call by the official. Excellent crossover dribble on this break. A terrific bounce pass and a finish. That's what Science has to do more of, because they're having real trouble scoring in the half-court offense. So they have to get out in the open floor. They got to get something out of their defense, and they got to get running because they're having real difficulty half-court.
Milton Gaylord has his troops picking up the pace. And 1 of 2 at the free throw line for Omar Howard. The rebound goes to Ron Myers.
Well, Ronnie Myers has done a heck of a job on the glass today.
Joe Crispin for Pitman with the dribble out front. I don't think they'll play for one shot. They seem to be too high-powered an offense to do that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Too much time. Joe get the first good one.
Joe Crispin with the dribble, splits, and scores off glass.
Put it on the floor. Hey, when you got a guy that can score from deep, can put it on the floor and go by you, and find guys, you've got a player.
But Omar Howard answers again. And I believe that's 14 on the day for Howard. The 2 scorers have stepped it up. This ball's knocked out of bounds, and Pitman still has possession with, you see the time there, 44 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
You know, this is a coach's dream. You tell kids all the time, when the ball's on the floor, get after it. Well, boy, these 2 teams are doing that today. When that ball's on the floor, it's like, what do you call that in
a scrum.
The scrum,
there you go.
That's the word I was looking for. I knew you could help me with that.
Reading your mind. Hassan Cornegay just checked in for defensive purposes for Science. 48-43, Pitman the lead and the ball here in the third quarter. Nice pass, turnaround. No shot. Cutting back door and a nice feed inside to Ketzel and a foul.
Good interior passing.
Looked like Myers was going to take that shot.
Well, he opted for, to throw it down low to a more open shot. It was a good pass. Look at this. Got him up in the air.
Pretty good
Great
defense.
pass.
Omar Howard wants the jump ball, but I don't think he's going to get that call. Watch, see if he gets a clean block.
Let's take a look.
That was close.
Oh, and he came down hard on the floor. But that's just what you teach. You come off the outside shoulder so that you don't make contact with the body.
Ketzel has not scored today, and he misses his first at the free throw line. He came in averaging about 7.5 points a contest, so they're missing his contribution so far. It remains 48-43, and he missed the pair. And Science to basketball with plenty of time, 30 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
And now they may hold for one.
Pitman comes out. Looks like they're playing a matchup, Ted.
Yeah, it looks like they're in a 1-2-2 zone. They just extended the point.
Howard's had the hot hand. They'll try to keep it in his hands as time winds down. Here comes Omar Howard off glass. It won't drop. The ball being tipped. Finally brought down by Joe Crispin. He'll run the floors. He has about 3 seconds to go. If it goes, it counts. It goes off the backboard. No good. And we have played 3 quarters here in Atlantic City. Helter-skelter basketball to its finest, if you will. 48-43 here at the Atlantic City Convention Center. After a 27-year hiatus, the championship has returned. We'll return with more in just a moment. Welcome back here to the First Union NJSIAA Group 1 Championships. We get set for the fourth quarter. Mick Moddinghoff and Ted Fiore. And when you talk about the Crispin brothers today, Ted, they have really lit it up and helped carry their team.
Well, between them, they have 32 points, but that does not account for how many assists they've had and how many other guys, that Joe's set up. So, there's no question. They're the 2 guys that have to do it for them. But I think another very, very important factor has been the rebounding of Meyer.
Well, on the other side, Omar Howard with 14 points. He had 10 in that third quarter alone. And a good look at his coach, Milton Gaylord. Buckle up for a great finish. The final 8 minutes are before us here in the Group 1 championship game.
Well, Howard is your senior. He's the guy you look to step up now. Your experienced senior players have to step up and take charge.
Howard at the three-point line. Dribble drive, gives up in the paint. The shot is good. Count the goal for Akil McGill.
Terrific pass by Howard again. He makes penetration.
Notice Science still pressuring the basketball. Nice dribbling here by Crispin behind the back between the legs. And here is John Crispin. It won't drop. That's their 45th shot, as each team before that one had 44 apiece. So it's been almost even all the way around here today.
And look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, only a 3-point
almost
differential.
Even.
That's one more 3. That's all. Science with the basketball. With a 3 they can tie on this trip. I thought they were going to get one there.
If you don't get a run, it's going right down to the wire unless somebody makes a run.
Here comes Taylor in the paint. Nice through. A little short, and it is Ron Myers for the rebound. Joe Crispin in a hurry. Pushes it up. Finds his brother. Layup. Good. John Crispin with the finish.
Well, we're just repeating. We're being redundant, but that's where it's getting done, those 2 guys.
Well, if they're going to carry it, then they deserve the mention. Right. Here is a jumper for 3 outside. Air ball. No good by Whitus. And John Crispin dribbled on the sideline out of bounds right in front of us. So John Crispin hit the sideline, and that's the reason for the turnover.
Yeah, he was trying to go a little too quickly. I think he was trying to, he felt he had some advantage up court and just really didn't get possession of the ball.
Jahad Campbell, a freshman, checks back in for Science. Little muscle up front. He sets a screen here, and they kick it back for Cornegay. His dish to the hoop. Hit the bottom of the rim, no good, and Pitman the rebound. Nice lead pass, a little too far ahead. One Crispin to another, and it's out of bounds.
But it was a terrific look, it really was. I mean, he saw the guy, and he, you have to take some chances, and he did. It was just off the fingertips.
Well, I think there's no doubt Joe Crispin, a very solid Division I college basketball prospect. Jumper outside by Howard, long, nobody checked out Cornegay, and he gets the rebound and a pushing foul inside. I think they're going to call it on Ron Myers.
Well, that guy, Joe Crispin, there's no doubt he can play on a Division I level.
1-on-1 opportunity here for Hassan Cornegay, a senior. Didn't score in the Midland Park game. Averages about 4 points a contest, and there's one for him now.
4-point game.
One more coming for Cornegay. On the way. Oh, off the back of the rim, no good. This ball is tipped, though, and Cornegay picks up the loose one. Gets it to Howard. Might have been partially blocked. Turnaround will go and score the goal for Akil McGill.
2-pointer.
And the fans love it.
Science won't go away, I'll tell you that.
Pittman the lead by 2 and the ball. Here is a 3. Count it!
Oh,
Called home from long distance. Joe Crispin again.
Baby.
I'll tell you, there's nothing more exciting than seeing a guy pull up from NBA 3 and letting it go. But back the other way comes Howard. He will not be denied.
Howard does it his way, and Crispin does it his.
Here is John Crispin. He wants a 3. No good. But Meyer there for the rebound. He was pushed, and that'll be the foul. I'll tell you what, Meyer is maybe a little bit overshadowed by the Crispins, but it's his rebounding that has really kept them in the game.
Oh, this kid has played a terrific game today. I mean, he has really done, you know, it's roles. You play roles on a basketball team, and his role is to rebound, score inside, and he's just as important to this team as the other 2 guys are. I mean, in terms of what he does.
Free throw coming for Ron Myers, and he got it. That's his 10th point of the day.
You can see these kids, you know, play a lot of games. They practice this game a lot. You see, Science is a much more athletic kind of team.
Nice off rebound. The putback won't go, but it is McMaster who came down with the rebound, and they call a jump ball, but the arrow points to Pitman. Well, Greg Harper had to like that.
Let's take a look at it. There he is, working hard for the ball, turns to go to the hole. That's probably a pretty good call by the official.
Substitution, Howard goes to the bench. I believe he has 4 fouls now, so they may give him a rest with 5:28 to play.
He won't be there long, I guarantee you. He won't be on that bench very long.
54-50. Pittman the lead by 4 and the ball. Splitting the double team. Joe Crispin, the jumper. Long, no good. Nice offside rebound. And they call a reach-in foul. McMaster with another rebound inside.
Well, McMaster's starting to assert himself in there. Now, he's gotten 2 or 3 offensive rebounds in the last few minutes.
Both he and Kensel going to the board hard. And here Matt Kensel was fouled, and he will go to the free throw line. He's a senior. And Kensel's first is good. Always important, Ted, to make the front end of that 1-and-1.
Well, particularly when you get in the last 5 minutes of a close game. You know, you're going to have to make free throws because you get down to this point in time where they're going to be 1-and-1s, and you have to be making them count.
Well, he made 1 of 2, and back come the Chargers. Here is a shot out front that was tipped, and a foul inside. It went straight up into the cylinder, so the shot nowhere near counting, but good inside presence by Science to pound it down low and draw a foul. McMaster, the guilty party.
You have to love, you know, how hard these kids are playing. I mean, they're really after it. That's all you ask for as a coach, is just go out there and lay it on the line, as I said before.
McGill makes his first at the line, and he wants to get his fans riled up. And why not? They're down by 4. 55-51. Another free throw coming for Akil McGill. And he's got it. McGill with 8 points in the contest today. And here's that trapping press. But Pittman gets it across the timeline. And the big man dribbles out front. At the foul line, jumper on the way, hits the back of the iron, no good for McMaster. Tipped out of bounds though.
And who saves it? Who saves it? Myers.
They'll get a good look at it here.
Great play here by Myers.
And a great call.
Yep.
As it glanced off the knee of Jahad Campbell. Here's a 3 on the way, off the front of the iron, no good, and Campbell the rebound. Joe Crispin pulled the trigger maybe a little too fast that time. He wasn't quite set. Here comes Taylor. Double pump in the lane. Count the goal for Samad Taylor. And it's a 1-point ball game, and here's a steal. 1-on-1 if they hurry. Taylor and the lead for Science. 56-55. Science on a run. The Tide starting to turn with 4:19 to play. This ball is tipped and it comes out of bounds.
I'll tell you what Science has done. They've made a little adjustment here. They're keeping the ball away from Crispin. What they've done is they've decided to let him throw the ball to somebody else once they trap and try to keep it away from Crispin, and it's helped them in the last 3 or 4 possessions.
We have a timeout. Just what we thought we would. We're burning down the barn. 56-55 Science. We'll come back with more in the fourth quarter in a moment here on the Comcast Network. Welcome back here at the Convention Center in Atlantic City. Mick Mollinghoff and Ted Fiore with you this afternoon. And Ted, this ball game has been exactly what we thought it would be. Take a look at the steal here. Great D by Science.
Well, Science, this is what we've said before they need to do. They need to get some stuff out of their defense and in transition. And Joe Crispin made one bad decision there. He tried to split a double team with a dribble. And they came up with the steal because they have very quick hands.
4:14 to play. Yeah, I'm going to say it. In regulation. 56-55. Science the lead. Pitman trails, but they have the ball. John Crispin works with his brother Joe out front against the zone.
There's another thing that happens with Crispin on the floor. They have to pay so much attention to him that their openings are created in other areas.
Here comes Joe Crispin on the drive, gives off a nice feed and a layup easily for Dan McMaster.
He's got to have the ball. I tell you what, I wouldn't go a possession in these last 3 minutes where he didn't have the ball. He's got to make it all happen from here on out.
And with that basket, the lead change. Science trying to tie on this trip. Lean in by Taylor off the front of the iron, no good. Did it hit the end line? Yes, it did. Pitman has the ball.
Science was doing a pretty good job of attacking, and they got to pull up and shoot a jumper. That was a probably ill-advised shot.
Williams checks back into the lineup. He is a 6'5" forward for a little more oomph up front for Science.
So he's got to have it.
Pitman the lead and the ball, and a reach-in foul out front on Samad Taylor, the junior. Taylor didn't like the call. We haven't seen many hand check calls in this game from the outset.
Yeah, it's just that, you're down to 3 minutes in the game, and we've been playing this way the whole game, and they haven't made that call. You wonder why they start making it now. You have to call the game consistently, and just because it's the last 3 minutes, call it the way you've been calling it.
Pitman's been at the line a lot more, and there's the first one for Joe Crispin. 20 points now on the day for Crispin.
20 points, numerous assists.
He's having a great final. One more coming, and the senior's got it. 59-56, 3-point Pitman lead. Science with the ball. 3:14 to play. On the baseline, Omar Howard knifes in and gets it to drop.
That's what he does well. He just slithers into those creases in the defense.
Howard's got 16. He's having a whale of a ball game. And back the other way, the driving layup for John Crispin, the sophomore. 61-58, Pitman the lead. Science the ball. Here comes a shot for Taylor. Tipped up, off the mark, no good. Almost tipped in by Williams. McMaster has it, and he will call timeout underneath. So McMaster calls timeout. He realized he was double teamed, couldn't put it on the floor. Pretty good decision, as they will hold on to the ball with 2:40 to go and a 61-58 lead for Pitman.
Well, that was a big possession, and it was a big rebound, and they had him tied up pretty well, and they had every outlet pass tied up very well, and he made a good decision. Called a timeout. You're down to 2:40. That's when you need him.
Last goal by Pitman. Take a look at the drive there by John Crispin.
Here comes John. Good seal off there. Terrific move to the hole. These two guys, you can tell they practice all the time because he crossed over, came from left to right, took it to the hole, avoided the defender, and finished.
Again, the rebounding margin almost even today. One thing that is not even, though, the timeout situation. Pitman has one left. Science has 3, so that may play a factor down the stretch.
Well, it could.
Now here comes Science. They trail 61-58 with 2:40 to play. Pitman has the basketball. They have to go the 94 feet.
Well, I think here now in this last 2:40, Science is going to have to try to do something to just keep the ball away from Joe Crispin as much as possible.
Milton Gaylord
Let some other guys beat you.
talking things over with the officials. Everything is straight. We're ready to inbound the basketball. Pitman has it. They lead it 61-58 with 2:40 to play. Of course, Joe Crispin will bring it up.
Once he gives it up, don't let him get it back. Don't let him get it back.
McMaster gives up for John Crispin. Now Joe has it out front.
Because you can't foul that guy either. He's just going to nail him.
2:24 to play. Crispin trying to break down the defenders. Gives to his brother John. On the drive, we got a whistle. Offensive foul.
A little out of control.
Nice play by Samad Taylor to step in and take the charge.
A little out of control. No question about it. He goes around the defender. Just runs over people. He should have jump stopped. But he's in that attack mode. He's the fearless player.
Well, Pitman has turned it over a little bit more today, and Science rolls the ball in to save a little time on the game clock. 2:15 to play, and they trail 61-58. Samad Taylor looking for Howard. Here's Omar Howard. Jumper from 12. Good. And it's a one-point ball game again. 18 points for Omar Howard. Hensel being double-teamed. He puts it on the floor. Looks like a guard. Gives up now for Crispin to John. Layup good. John Crispin scores it. Omar Howard back in transition in a hurry. A reach-in foul. Oh, jump ball. Jump ball is the call.
That's a good call by the official. You split the defender. Here's Crispin again. Draws so much attention. Ronnie Myers makes a subtle little play. He seals Omar Howard off. And they score.
Here comes Taylor. Kicks it back to Howard. Thought about a three now. Lets it go. No basket. We got a foul before. Pushing off, and I think it's on one of the Pitman players inside. They're going to call it on number 5. That is John Crispin for pushing off, and he couldn't believe the call, but that's what it is. Loose ball, rebound, foul.
He's shooting 2. Was there a shot attempt on that?
Virgil Williams will go to the line. Evidently, they're calling it a 2-shot foul. Williams, you see, close to his average today. And this one is no good. 63-60. Pitman leads it by 3.
Well, you can see the rotation in the shot. Probably not a real good foul shooter. All spinning left to right.
This one glances off the iron, but we got a whistle and maybe a violation. We'll get one more shot. Somebody's in the lane too soon. 1:35 to play, and, well, the rebounder is getting a little antsy.
Gets a third shot at this.
Looks like Kensel got in there a little too fast. This one's off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound inside, fought for by Field. Now
how many of those have we seen today?
A lot. Jump ball, arrow points to Pitman. And I still hate that arrow. Let him fight it out. Dan McMaster to inbound. Pitman has to go the 94 feet. They have a 3-point lead and the ball. It's got to come in. It's tipped.
There they go again.
Taylor comes up with it, gets it to Omar Howard. His shot is blocked, but they call a foul on Matt Kensel, who can't believe it. And Kensel has fouled out.
This game could set a record for the most loose ball pileups.
Well, the senior has just played his final seconds in a Pitman uniform, and there's the foul on Matt Kensel.
Now, wait a minute. If they win, they go to the Tournament of Champions.
And the first one good by Omar Howard.
This kid's tough. He's making all the big plays. He just doesn't like to lose.
Howard's next one off the front of the iron, no good. And a jump ball situation. The arrow points to Science. And I think Pitman wants a timeout, and
that's their last one, isn't it?
Yes, that is their last timeout.
Whoa.
And I do have a correction. Kensel did not foul out. So at least they still have his big body on the floor. But there you get a good look at Science High School of Newark. They've been in the championship for their third consecutive year. They beat Burlington City 2 years ago, lost last year to Paulsboro, and they're trying to turn the trick here today. But they find themselves trailing by 2 to Pitman. It's their first trip ever to a group championship game, and they're hanging tough.
They're hanging tough is right. 1:20 to go, you know, to win it all. But hey, that timeout, that's important. They have none left. That could be a big factor in the last minute and 20 seconds. But Science now has the ball and a chance to tie this game or go ahead. And I got to think that they're going to get the ball into Omar Howard's hands and let him somehow create penetration like he's done very, very well. But now watch these out-of-bound plays under the basket. They do a terrific job of just getting somebody into a crease. Let's see if they do it again.
It comes into Howard, and Howard goes to the hole off glass, no good, fights for his own rebound, it's loose.
Throw it ahead.
Crispin to Crispin. John Crispin, layup, good.
Big turn of events.
65-61. You see the score of about 65 seconds to play. Here comes Omar Howard. It won't drop for him. The rebound swept down by Dan McMaster, and they call a traveling violation. Science has the ball again.
Both coaches dying over there.
We are going down to the wire. Omar Howard almost had it stolen, and they call a foul reaching, I believe, on Ron Myers.
Well, not what you want happening in the last 50 seconds of the game. But you know what? The kids played so aggressively all day. You don't want to discourage them from playing aggressively now.
Howard hasn't had a stellar day at the free throw line. Making just one of his last 2, but he makes this one.
Down to the wire, Mick.
65-62.
Don't you just love these games?
I love it.
These kids are playing their hearts out.
He makes the pair. 2-point ball game.
Can't
Pitman.
foul that guy. Don't foul him.
Oh, they just did. Joe Crispin, the senior, will go to the line. The all-time leading scorer in Gloucester County history, and there's a good look at Samad Taylor.
They probably would have been better off forcing him to give the ball up and then maybe fouling somebody else, but you don't want to foul that guy. Is this a 1-and-1 or not a 2-shot foul yet?
It would not be a 2-shot foul. 21 points today for Crispin. And
I think we have a blood rule.
All right.
I think Virgil Williams seems to have blood on his uniform, so they're going to have to clean that up.
So they will tend to Virgil Williams. 52.4 seconds remain. A 2-point ball game here as Science trails by 2, and that's why they want to get Williams back in the lineup. They need his size inside.
Well, if you're Pitman, this is the situation you want. I mean, you're up 2. You've got the ball. And you've got this guy, you know, Joe Crispin, who just thrives in these situations on the foul line.
Craig Harper, though, is pacing. He knows this game is far from over. And that's with Joe Crispin at the free throw line or not.
It is 2 shots. So they're in the double bunk.
Well, he made the first.
He didn't just make it, he drilled it. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Crispin with one more coming.
I don't think this bothers him in the least. Look at that.
Not at all. 67.
Absolutely can't foul that guy.
67-63. Here comes Omar Howard. Nice dish inside. And there is Williams. Well, that's why they needed him on the floor.
Make him give it up. Oh.
Yep, they found Crispin again. And it is Taylor once again the guilty party.
Well, it's interesting. Coach Harper is saying get the ball in his hands and let him just do with it. Well, Omar Howard is just fouled out of the game. And boy, did he have a terrific effort today. The senior played a great effort.
Howard fouls out and leaves with 21 points on the day. He brought his team back in the second half. Nothing wrong with his effort.
He made every big play.
Matter of fact, Howard had 17 points in the half. And Crispin continues to add to his total.
He just goes to the line and it's nothing but bottom of the net. He got great technique.
Every coach wants his best free throw shooter on the line down the stretch.
His dad and his granddad did a great job with him.
Yeah, but his brother John will continue the tradition. 25 points for Joe Crispin. Science with the basketball. Here is a jumper on the way by Taylor. Rolls off, no good. The rebound pulled down by Myers. Myers gets the ball ahead to McMaster. Crispin across the midcourt line with 21 seconds to go. And
I think they're on their way to a victory here.
Fans from Pitman on their feet. There's the foul that stops the clock. And it looks
they smell it.
Looks like Pitman's going to get their first win ever in their first trip to an NJSIAA final. Craig Harper has really turned his program around. Before he got there, they went through a 1-47 stretch. And in the last 6 years, he has taken them to a group, or actually a state championship.
This guy is drilling him. Foul me. He's daring him to foul.
8 for 9 from the line today. 90%. There you go.
But he's made 6 in a row in the last minute and 20 seconds.
And when it's crunch time. This one will ping pong around. The tip is up and in. Count it for Virgil Williams. And time will run out. No, we got another foul to stop the clock.
I'll tell you what. This is a great effort game. This is why you have to love basketball on this level. I mean, it's in its purest form. These are just a bunch of kids who are playing because they love the game. There's no scholarships here. They just love to play the game. They're playing their hearts out with the crowd involved in the Atlantic City Convention Hall. It just doesn't get any better than this for kids. This is a memory they'll have always. I've coached the championships team here, and I've played in a state championship final. This is terrific.
Joe Crispin with 28, make it 29 points on the day.
8 in a row at the end.
And here's a steal, and the final horn will sound. Your final score today, Pitman wins the Group 1 title, 73-67 over Science from Newark. Their first trip ever to a final, and it's party time in Pitman.
Well, they should party. They should enjoy it. They played a whole season for this, their first trip here. And I'll tell you what, Milt Gaylord and his gang have nothing at all to be ashamed of, but they have all but proud. They played their hearts out. They've been here 3 years in a row. Nothing wrong with that program either.
Nothing at all. Great hustle. It was anybody's ball game down the stretch, too. You can't ask for any more from that from either team.
Well, you know, the story is very simple. The story is what it's been all year. Joe Crispin, he comes down the end and he makes 8 in a row and just drills them.
Well, a great day for Pitman. They win this one by the score of 73-67 for the Group 1 championship.
Are they going to be partying?
Oh, they will.
Crispins?
We'll come back with a post game in a moment. Welcome back to Atlantic City. Your final score again today. Pitman 73, Science 67. Pitman is the Group 1 champion. And right now in the post game, we are joined by Craig Harper, head coach here at Pitman. And your first trip to the final, coach, and you pulled it off.
Well, we were very well prepared. We thought we had watched them and we had really scouted them very well. And we really thought that we had every right to be here. And we thought we would maybe end up in this situation.
I'll tell you what, the Crispin brothers doing the job. They combined for over 50 points in today's ball game.
Well, they've been our story all year. They're the guys that have carried us. But I must point out that Ron Myers was a tremendous force in the first half. When they were really defending the Crispin brothers, Ron Myers stepped up with offensive rebound after rebound.
Coach, congratulations on the championship.
Thank you very much, and we're certainly going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Let's go over to Ted Fiore, who has some special guests in this ball game. Ted.
Well, with me here is the MVP of this game, and he's had a terrific tournament, a terrific career. Joe, wonderful game today. Tell us what you were thinking about in the last minute and 20 when you made 8 free throws in a row.
Well, it's something you got to get done at this level. I mean, free throws, we struggled a little bit in the first half, but you know, when it came down to when it matters, I mean, you got to knock them down. You can't let those go. But you know, you have to think to yourself, I mean, this is more meaningful than any game you played in your life, so you got to knock them down much more than the games all season. You know, other playoff games, they weren't as close as this one, but to knock them down at the end, you got to get the job done.
Well, it's terrific. You've taken a program that was, you know, not very successful in the beginning, and I think that you are primarily responsible for a lot that was happening here and a lot that was accomplished. Congratulations to you, Joe.
Thank you.
And have a, you know, hey, you got the Tournament of Champions ahead of you, right?
You know, this was our ultimate goal. We'll just go out there and play as hard as we can in that one. So it'll be fun.
Okay.
Play against a higher
Joe,
level.
And good luck. Good luck to you.
Well, Ted, we saw a whale of a ball game here today as Pitman beat Science, but I'll tell you what, Science has nothing to be ashamed of. This game went down to the wire.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, they went they're here 3 straight years, and so obviously they have nothing to be ashamed of. I think it was a terrific effort on their parts, but congratulations to a great Pitman club today.
Well, once again, Pitman wins this ball game over Science from Newark in a big way, and we hope you enjoy the action here on the Comcast Network. Now for Ted Fiore, I'm Nick Monahan, but thanks for joining us this time around. Again, your final 73-67 as Pitman is the Group 1 champ. So long, everybody.